Okay, so let's take a look at how to work with Key Vault in Microsoft Azure. So what we can do is we go to Azure portal. Next thing, we can use create a resource shortcut option, or you can go to all services. So I usually go to all services so that I can view all the services in one place. Now there is another option which is using the search bar at the top. When you use that, you can also access, let's say, Key Vault. You can see this is the Key Vault. Alternatively, you can go through services, type in key, and Key Vaults show up. Right. So either one of the method that gets you quicker, you can use it. You can also use this pin to add the shortcut to your dashboard. So if you are using this frequently, you can make use of pin option. Right now, click on create to create your key vault. Right, so that's one of the thing you can do. And in next page, it will show up all the configuration options for you to create the key. Right, so here you can see option for subscription, then you have resource group to choose from, then comes key vault name where you can add my key vault as its instance name, then comes the region. Right, notice that it is already in use. So let's say my dev key is the name available. Now next is region. I'm picking the default pricing tier. There are standard and premium to choose from, so I will go with standard. Here you have recovery option. You can see soft delete and force delete. So soft delete keeps your file active for retention period, and then it will be permanently removed. And your hard deletion or enforced deletion is basically immediately deleting the file permanently. Here you can see soft delete is enable days of retaining the vaults. Let's change that to 30, not 90. There is purge protection, so you can enable disable that. So if you enable that, you can see this cannot be disabled, so we will disable purge protection. 30 days is good enough to go with. Right, now let's click next. Here you see we have access configuration where vault access policy is the default. Then comes resource access. Here you can see Azure Virtual Machine for deployment, Azure Resource Manager for template deployment, and Azure Disk Encryption for volume encryption. So you can set your access policy for these three resources. Apart from that, you can also add a user. Currently I am global admin, so I'll be here by default. You can add other users by clicking on create, and to the right there is a drawer. You can select the template for what to allow, not to allow, and all the key secrets and certificate management options. You can choose the permissions based on that and then click next. That policy will later allow you to add the specific user for all the permissions that are listed here. Next comes your networking option where you can have public access for all networks. Alternatively, there is private endpoint you can set. So if you are going for selected networks, then it is necessary for you to create a private endpoint, because that is the only way you will be able to grant access to those key vaults. So the default of allowing the public access, you should let that as is. Right, then comes your other options for tags. Right, make sure to have your tags in case you are organizing your resources under resource group and want to adjust the resources based on tags, and you can search through that as well. Right, then there comes review and create. It will run a validation test Once validate comes to green light, you will be able to use create option. It will show up at the top that this validation has passed. So we'll just wait for this to show up, right? As you can see at the top, that message shows up, and then you can also view the automation template for the actions that we have taken. Here you can see the name my dev key is the name for vault for me now. Now we have to move to the step where I can create this key vault. Right now here you can see, once we move to this particular step, we will be able to create a key vault. And that key vault has its own dashboard too. So we will just have to wait for deployment to complete. Now here you see the deployment is complete and I can go to the key vault dashboard. Now let's take a look at what is available here. Now I can delete this entire key vault. I can move it to some other resource group or subscription. So if you have like multiple options here within your directory, you can move that to another subscription that way. Now let's take a look at our options here in sidebar. So we have object where I can click on keys and I can generate or import by clicking on them, right? So if you want to create a key, you can generate the type of key, which could be RSA or EC, and you can set its key size, its activation date, expiration date. You can enable it immediately so that it will be configured, right? And then here you can see confidential key options, which are not editable fields. Now once we do this, we can hit create. We just have to give it a name, and there is option for either generating this or importing this. So if you are using any desktop based tool to create the key, you can use those keys to be imported here in Key Vault. You can also restore a backup, which is something you can do so here, right? So if you already have keys, you can upload or restore those backups here, right? So this is specific for creating keys. You can use restore backup here as well, and you can manage the previously existed keys through manage deleted keys, right? Now comes the secret. Just like keys, there are also secrets within Key Vault. They will be same like your keys, except the part where you generate them makes a difference. So here you get option to upload them manually, or you can use secret certificate option. So when you select certificate, you will have to upload them in files, give them a name, set their activation expiration, and then enable. So your keys you can import, generate, also restore as a backup. Same with secret, you can manually add them, or you can use import certificate option to add them, right? Apart from that, there is also separate certificate import and generate option. So click on import generate and we can look at that. So here you see generate and import. Once you say generate, it will create the certificate with that name, self-assigned, or you can use integrated CA, non-integrated C option. Then use subject, validity, type PM or PKCS, then choose its lifetime option, then percentage lifetime, and hit create. So these are some of the options that you can do with certificates, so that would be easy for you to work with, right? So here I have come up with some of the options that you have for accessing your keys, secrets, and certificates all from your key vault. So we managed to also create it. We will also take a look at how to destroy the key vault that we just created, right? So select the resource, right, and here within your key vault dashboard can click on delete, right? It will tell you that it will be deleted after 30 days. So currently it will go to soft deletion. So from this point onwards we can go out of our deployment, right? And that's pretty much it for Key Vault.